Cognitions, speaking the unspeakable with JP.
And Stacy D.
I'm JP Craddock, and I'm here with the wonderful Stacy D. Love. We are broadcasting here on KUAW Radio, which stands for Knowledge, Understanding,
And wisdom.
and Wisdom. All right, coming up on the show today, we have our question of the day. We'll get to that around the half
Which was
hour
our question of
mark.
the day last week, from what I remember.
Yes, this is the one that got pushed back. My ex says horrible things about me to our children, most of which are untrue, and the others are inappropriate to share with a kid. How do I defend myself without also discussing inappropriate topics with my kid? So,
That's really a good one.
because this is so common,
Happens a lot.
I probably hear this every week.
It happened to me. Oh, I'm sorry. My daughter Danielle says, "Mama, I need you to stop being so transparent on this show."
Wait, is that the one that lives with you?
No, that's the one.
That's the truck driver.
Who's on the road. Who I have. Okay, can I do my check-in?
Wait a minute. Okay, are you going to include why she said that?
Yes. Okay. So everyone knows my children are something else because I just let them free spin. Have you seen the parent test? What I told you to watch.
Oh no, I haven't seen it yet.
Now,
You
when he
didn't tell
tells
me when
to
it
do
comes
things, just go on Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix or something.
You didn't say that, D.
Yeah, it's on something.
That
Hell,
makes it easier.
We didn't watch it in real time.
Oh, you gonna turn that down? What's
I just
going
turned it
on
off.
right now?
We never watch anything in real time in my home. Okay, so I have a daughter that is truly a truck driver, and she's on the road, and my anxiety has stopped. I mean, I didn't have anxiety about anything no more. You know, when I leave my office at 8:00 at night on 8th in Minnesota, I have my briefcase in one hand and my 9mm in the other hand. I have no anxiety about anything no more, right? I am straight having anxiety. My daughter is on the road, like driving.
But she's been a truck driver, hasn't she?
No, she just started this. Remember, she
Oh,
drove
she
for the
just
ATA.
started.
Yeah.
But if she can drive the metro in this city where bus drivers get attacked by the passengers, she gonna be okay. That was the more dangerous job. That should have had you up at night.
No, that didn't. But her
Really?
on the road, her on the road has me really upset. And one of my guy friends, he was like, "Stacey, if it was one of the boys, you wouldn't even trip." I said, "You right." So I had to do JP because I really be on JP. But I said there's a double standard. JP says there's not have to be a double standard.
There does not have to be.
That's what you said.
Right.
But there is a double standard.
But you
because
said she has a partner also.
Yeah, it's
She's
a partner,
not
but
driving
still,
by herself.
Still, my daughter is on the road.
She was driving the metro. For those of you who are not from this area, the metro is the public bus system here. I see bus drivers in therapy. It is dangerous. They get full on attacked on the bus. You have people who just ride the bus all day because it's too cold outside,
And they can ride for free.
and they don't have anywhere to
And
be.
that's the reason why she changed professions.
She is safer now. She over the road.
It's still something about her being on these roads.
She on the highway.
Female. Yeah, it's just
Oh,
something.
you want her driving the metro down Truce?
No, I just want her to have like a thing that she can just come home every day.
Oh, so she is. Oh, because she's
Out
new.
there.
Because
Yeah.
she's new. Once she gets some experience, because my nephew is a truck driver, she'll be able to drive for
Right.
companies like FedEx and be home every night.
Exactly.
She'll go out and she'll be home at night.
Yeah, she said.
But
she has to
starting
get
out,
6
yeah, she got to
months.
go out.
Yeah, she's out. I won't see her till next month.
What?
Yes. But she says, "Mama, just watch the money goes into your account."
Wow. A
Yeah.
month?
Says she will not
See,
be.
I don't think my
she-
nephew was ever.
She
he
left
wasn't
out
out like that.
Monday, and she said because her birthday is March 31st, and she said I won't be in town. She won't be back until April.
And but they've got the full bed in the back, the little apartment in the back of the
I
truck.
bought her a little rolling thing, a little rolling bag.
Oh, okay, little suitcase.
Yes, I bought her.
They got a little refrigerator back
yeah,
there.
but I
Do you
bought
have
her a
pictures
cooking
of the
pot.
truck?
No.
Put the pictures up, Mr. Walker.
I don't have any pictures. Oh, but Danielle was said that I'm too transparent, and she don't want all their business out there. She's like,
oh,
Mama.
you're too transparent about their business. Okay.
But I thought it was my business. And she says it's their business.
Well, if you're involved, it's all of y'all's business.
Exactly.
But she's saying leave them out of it. So basically, because I went through this with that friend of ours that I cannot mention on the show
Because you'll
anymore.
be in trouble again.
Right. And I didn't even say anything about her in particular, but
Leave it alone.
yeah. We be keeping it way too real. That's the problem. And
But
folks
what
can't
is
handle
the
the
name
real.
of our show?
Speaking the unspeakable. So why are people trying to censor?
And they know us.
It's bad enough we get censored like by
Twice already.
the
one on me
YouTube
and one on
it.
JP.
Right. Like we got enough official censorship going on from Speaking the Unspeakable. We ain't got time for this family censorship. What did you say that they felt like, ooh, that was too much? What was it?
Every week.
Everything?
They say every week.
See,
But
you
I'm
don't
sorry,
really
I
say
just-
things that you don't say things that are embarrassing to them.
I guess not.
So what is she talking about?
I don't know. But everybody, what was the show that you were talking about trying to get the kid out the house before the parents die?
They don't like what you're saying. It's not too personal.
Yeah. Well, I do want to bring back something from that. So my baby girl, her and Danielle had a talk, and she told Danielle, y'all are just clueless. Mama wants us here because y'all just do not know how needy your mom is. And I'm here, and I'm helping all of y'all because, I'm stopping my life. This is her. She's stopping her life to watch out for me.
She's doing you a favor.
And basically that's what she said. She's like, and I'm also doing you guys a favor too, because as long as me and Drea is in the home, she's not going to get connected to another man and mess with our inheritance.
See, that's a whole separate reason. That ain't got nothing to do with helping you. That has to do with helping herself. That was foul. Now, see, I have had her back throughout the months, but that was foul. She didn't hit. Here's another area where she didn't meet the criteria that I was talking about, because remember we talked about people who are still living at home because of unmanaged mental health or because of addiction. But, and I don't know if I mentioned this, most of those people who are refusing to launch from the home are also broke and don't have a job. She actually has enough money to live on her own.
Yeah, she has like 3 jobs, but she wants to do what she wants to do with her money.
But
I mean,
she's
it's easy
choosing.
just paying her mother $400, and she's able to do everything else she wants to do with her home.
So it's still about she's
Money.
not broke, but she
Mm-mm.
wants to be able to blow money. $400 is cheap rent.
And to let her daughter live her best life. Her best life.
Right.
And my granddaughter basically said, I just want to let you guys know. Because they so funny, you guys. We be having these family meetings, and it just blows my mind sometimes. So this is my 12-year-old granddaughter. And she, we there having a family meeting because, we were talking about stuff that they don't like to talk about. But we have to talk about it because we as African Americans do not, this is my public service announcement, we do not anticipate death. We do not plan for death.
True.
So, I generally have these conversations with my children when we
famous
all alone.
rich celebrities
Yes.
will drop dead without a will.
Without a will. I have one. I have an estate. I have an a lawyer that's over my state. If he dies, then another lawyer in his firm is going to take over. So my granddaughter was like, well, honey, I'm just going to let you know my plans. 12 years old, because everyone has a voice in the family meeting. Well, honey, when I graduate from high school, I will be going to some place in New York that focus on dance.
Alvin Ailey School of Dance.
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's not. It's a college.
Really?
Really. Because they are actually looking at her now.
Okay.
Yeah. They give her scholarships to some of the little dance things.
She's not playing about dance.
Yes, she's not playing about dance.
Okay.
She's going there. She's going to do 4 years there. She's going to dance on Broadway.
Oh,
she was like, and honey,
wonderful.
when you and mommy, you're not going with me. I'm gonna need you to start finding you friends now, because we have 5.5 years.
That is so funny.
And she said, and honey, when you get about 70 or 80, I'm gonna come and get you.
70 or 80.
Yeah, 70 or 80.
Okay.
And I'm gonna come and get you, and honey's gonna come live with me.
Oh, that's sweet.
So I don't know what everybody else is doing, but honey's coming to live with me, because I'm going to build her a house outside my house. And I was like, well, Gerald, what if I don't want to go to New York? She was like, honey, you're going to want to go. Don't worry about it.
That's sweet.
It really was. But then her and the twins started arguing. So I really felt good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But my oldest son did say that he loves that Lynn Shay is there, because of the last thing. He wants her to run interference on me finding my Boaz finding me. So he's all for the Omega. The Alpha and Omega is on the same thing there. Yeah. Okay, so another check-in. I just had one of my twins. They turned 16 on Tuesday. Wow, it's really exciting.
Twin grandbabies.
Yeah, they turned 16. And the baby twin, they're 3 minutes apart, he just got an invitation to the National Honor Society,
which is wonderful.
Yeah, so at the dinner he was telling everybody about the National Honor Society, and then once again the 12-year-old, my mini me, went to say that she just broke up with her boyfriend, and the table got silent.
She's got a boyfriend.
She has a boyfriend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she had to break up with him. And I was so excited about what she says, because she's 12 years old in the 6th grade. And she said because he was going too fast.
Ooh.
My sons are they on 59 right now, and they're looking at my daughter like, how are you allowing this? And my daughter's like, I have to let her find her way. I can't keep her locked up.
Right.
And I was like, y'all be quiet. Let's find out why Drea had to break up with the boyfriend.
Right. That was going too fast.
He was going too fast because he asked her if he kissed her on her lips.
Oh.
How would she feel?
On her lips.
On her lips. And she said, I'm not ready for that. And I have boundaries about that.
Oh, that's good.
And this relationship is not working.
Wow.
And not to mention, you have a messed up name that really makes me wonder. His name is Gage.
Gage?
Yeah, I said, Jarrell, what do that mean? She's like, honey, Gage. Like, he's gauging things. Who named their child Gage? And that just really made me wonder about how his mother and father is. So I was just like, wow. So once again, from the mouth of babes, it's just so funny. But I was so happy that she was able to set those boundaries.
Yeah, she's like, no, you should have asked to kiss me on my cheek or my forehead or something. You all trying to be all up on somebody's lips, and we not doing lips yet.
Yes.
He rushed up on the lips a little too fast.
A little too fast. And they had only been going together 4 days.
4 days, and he already rushing up on some lips.
Yes, it just really made me be like, Lord.
He trying to smudge lip gloss in 4 days.
In 4 days,
he's doing too much.
And she said that, and I was so proud of her about setting those boundaries.
Yes,
I didn't down her about having a boyfriend, because I want her to learn those type of relationships. But it was really good. The moral of the story was about her setting boundaries and knowing what she wants and knowing what she's going to put up with
Right.
and not put up with.
Right.
So I was very proud of her.
And here's something for parents to think about, because I see a lot of parents who prohibit their kids from having a boyfriend or girlfriend before like a certain age. Here's the thing: when you prohibit your kids from having a boyfriend or
Makes them wanna
girlfriend,
do it
they're
more.
still having one. They're just not telling you about it.
Exactly.
It's better for you to basically, I guess, allow them to have one so that you're in the loop and they're talking to you about it. That way you're able to give feedback on things like, when does kissing start?
Exactly.
Right? And all of those kind of things. So those parents out there who you're prohibiting and you think that your kid ain't got a man or got a woman,
They still
do.
have one.
Yeah, they got a boo.
And now they're being secretive.
And you're outside the loop, and you're not able to give them the knowledge and the guidance that they need for navigating the waters of a relationship.
Exactly.
So rethink that, people.
Please
Okay.
do.
Well, here's my check-in. This is about, let me tell you what I'm going to lead up to. I'm going to lead up to the Chris Rock, Will Smith story. Okay? Because Chris Rock released a brand new stand-up show on Netflix.
I seen that. I haven't had, watched TV. I haven't had a chance to hit it. Is it good?
Oh, hold on. I'm going to get to it. Okay, so I was meeting with, I didn't even know he had released it. I was meeting with an adult male client who is still experiencing the effects of childhood bullying. And here's something that I want people to be aware of. Bullying that goes unchecked has the potential to do some long-term negative effects upon a person's psyche. And so it is so important for parents, because my adult clients who are still processing through issues that center around childhood bullying and how it has affected their self-esteem, self-worth, their confidence that they can protect themselves, and with the males, just it affects their manhood. They feel emasculated even into adulthood. And so it is so important for parents to teach kids how to handle bullying when they are kids. This is something that we always did with my boys, is we addressed bullying on an ongoing basis. Addressed it with them, addressed it with the school, put them in, karate classes, not just for them to be able to handle a bully.
But karate's a whole nother
But it
level,
helps
though.
with their self-esteem, self-worth, in addition to teaching them what to do to a bully's face.
Get 'em
Okay?
down.
Because that was important. You got to know what to do to a bully. Okay. And so I'm meeting with this adult client, and I was giving him, because I see former bullies in therapy. I actually see some current, because there are grown bullies. And they oftentimes end up supervisors at agencies and companies, and they're still
Big
bullying.
companies.
Yes, and they're
Because
still
they
bullying.
have a good characteristic. They just don't know how to hone in on it. And
It's primitive. Yes, it's primitive, but they have some positive traits that results in them getting promoted.
yes.
But they end up being horrible managers and supervisors because of the bullying. And so I was working with this client, and I like to explain the psyche behind bullying, what a bully's mindset is. And I like to, explain to clients that the B in bully actually stands for a whole nother word, because that's what a bully truly is. And so
What?
after,
Can we say that on the air?
we can't say the other B word, but
'Cause I
everybody
don't
knows.
cuss.
Yeah.
So you
Not
would have
anymore.
to say it.
Not anymore, you don't. And so that evening, I stumble across this Chris Rock brand new stand-up show.
I'm gonna have
And
to
so
watch it.
I'm watching it. The last 10 minutes of the show was incredible. He addressed that whole situation. He addressed the rumor that him and Will and Jada had been beefing, and that he initiated. They basically had been kind of having some beefing, but he explained how it truly started. What I really liked is, one, he agreed with me that the B in bully stands for something else, but he didn't call Will
Which would it
Smith
be?
a bully.
There go a good word. Which would it be?
I like that. Yeah, let's flip it. And so he never called Will Smith a bully, but he described bullying behavior. But here's something that I really like. He took it to a whole other level.
He's
And I
very
like this.
intelligent, though. He's very
He
intelligent.
is intelligent.
Yes.
He took it to a whole nother level, and the name of the comedy special is this. He calls it selective outrage. Now, I don't want to spoil this for anybody who has not seen it
Go
yet.
and spoil.
You got to check this out,
I'm gonna
because
watch it tonight.
he was saying that Will Smith engaged in selective outrage, and that's what bullies do.
They do.
And one of the things with my male client that I was talking to, because his bully was this real street hood person that had moved to the suburbs and was just wreaking havoc. But once I explained to him the psyche behind bullying, and I didn't use the term selective outrage, I did use the B word. And the reason why I used it was because I explained to him that every bully is not indiscriminately bullying. There's always a few kids in the school that they ain't even messing with.
Exactly.
Right. So they are selective
They're
about who they
selective.
bully, as Chris Rock
And
was saying.
guess what? The guy that came from the hood to the suburbs, he probably wasn't even a bully in the hood.
In the hood, he probably was getting bullied. Yes. But one of the things that my client said as I was explaining that, he ended up remembering an incident where a large white kid saw the bully bullying him and stepped up to the bully and checked him immediately. And all of a sudden,
bully got to
Mr.
be a which
Drive-By
one it be?
Shooting Bully was no longer Mr. Drive-By Shooting Bully. He went on about his business. And so my client was like, "You're right." I said, "Yes." And when you are selective about who you are abusive to, one, you have some cowardice and some weakness and some insecurities within you.
Yourself.
Okay. And the being bully, that's what you are. So you have got to check out. Everybody needs to check out, because I love how.
And we're not getting any money from Chris Rock.
Yeah, but it's so good that people need to watch it, because he presents the whole story. And this is what I like about Chris Rock also. This was smart, because he could have immediately addressed it. But Chris Rock is like, if you gonna slap me like that, I'm gonna get paid off of that.
But
I'm cashing in on that.
And
I'm
he
gonna
is.
wait
Look.
until my Netflix special, and then I'm gonna do a whole segment on it, and I'm gonna lay it all. He laid it all out. It's great. So everybody need to check that out.
because I watched that several times, and people wanted to
The
say that.
slapping.
Yeah, and people wanted to say that Chris Rock was a punk because he didn't get back, but he used it a lot. He used a lot of self-control, because when he went back, he got a fist, and then he was like, "You just messed up your money, but I'm about to capitalize on that," because he just let it go.
Oh,
and
yeah.
came back up,
And he
I was like-
explained.
and that was like, wow.
He explained all of that too. He addressed that. He's like, people ask me why I did not retaliate, and his answer to that is too good for me to even say.
Doggone.
So you gotta hear from
So you
him.
know I'm gonna be texting you tonight.
And let me tell you, it's the last 10 minutes of the show. It's so good that I'd probably start with that last 10 minutes and then watch the rest of the show. That's how good it is. How he
Really?
broke it down. Yeah. And
That
in
was
fact, it was good enough that my clients who I'm seeing who are adults who are struggling with bullying, I'm going to have them watch it. Because I like, a comedian can break it down and be more raw as they address the psyche behind all of that than what I can in therapy,
Really?
because it was raw. Yeah, it was raw. Yeah, I mean, he's a comedian, so he cussing up a storm, he doing all that. Yeah. Okay, let's get to mental health and illness in the news. This is real quick, D. I have a question for you. Okay. Because you single. Okay. Does kindness trump ability? I want you to think about, this is an article. Where I get this? This is an article in Psychology Today by Dr. Spencer. And according to the research, research has found that of the two, okay, and what they're talking about when they say kindness, they're talking about kindness, warmth, a person who is emotionally available. They don't say that in the article, but that's basically what they also mean. I'm helping them out a little bit because they, should have covered that part also. And, intentions, positive intentions. Does that trump ability? And by ability, what they mean is competence. The ability to, learn a trade, learn a profession, make good money, manage good money, da-da-da-da-da. So I know that the goal is to have both, okay? I know the D, you want a man who is very capable but also in touch with his emotions, able to be warm and loving to the D, okay? Be sweet to the D. But if you met two guys and they did not embody both traits, one of them was full of ability but maybe a little cold, a little distant, not in touch with his emotions, his sensitive side, okay? He ain't doing all that, okay? And usually they kind of struggle with their communication, okay? But he making money, he making loot. He know how to manage money. He know how to invest money. He know how to do all of that. And so then let's imagine you met another guy who he's warm, he's sensitive, he's endearing to the D. He got the D all up on a pedestal. He's loving, but he's broke. The fool ain't got no money, D. If you if you met these two guys, which would you choose?
As of being 54, I'll pass on both.
You would pass on both.
I'll pass on
You
both.
want the whole package.
I want as close to it as I
You
can
want
get.
the whole package.
I'm not taking care of a man. I'm just not. I'm just not. And
Okay.
remember, I said a long time ago, you have to pay the house note.
D, you're leaning towards the man who has ability and competence.
I'm gonna pass on both because I have been in a good relationship that was very Stacy focused, and I really did enjoy that. So you're gonna have to give me more than one day. You have to call and check on me, make sure I made it to where I need to make it to, and I enjoyed that. And
being
I like that.
sweet to the D.
Yes,
Okay.
not a punk.
Well, let's get to
But-
what the research says,
Let's see what
because
the
you know I
research
like to
says.
present research on this show. Okay, I like to back
I'm
it up.
passing
back it
on
up.
both though. I'm passing on both.
The D don't want neither one of them.
I don't want
Okay.
either one.
Research finds that of the two, we generally prioritize warmth over competence. In
I
other
don't believe
words,
that.
when evaluating potential relationships, we tend to appraise a warm and incompetent person more positively than a cold and competent one. They don't understand why. Okay, now in this article, what they later ended up addressing is that those scales might start to tip in the other direction, because as a society, competency is more important than it has ever been in the past, because we live in a very technological world.
Mm-hmm.
And if you date someone who is not competent or capable, even with technology, that can drastically affect the household income. And so what they're saying is, essentially, we don't really live in a world where a person can afford to not be competent. You have to have some competency.
Even truck drivers have a whole computer that they have to log in that keeps track of their mileage, their downtime, and their sleep time. And you have to be able to work that.
Right.
Even with truck driving. I mean, you're driving, and now you have a computer inside the truck that you have to keep
They're
up
not
with.
just using simple, we're
Books.
going to pull up navigation to figure out how to get to
And
California.
they used to, 10 years ago, they had log books. Log books is a time of the past.
Even being an over the road trucker, you have to know. And so as I was reading this, because I've always considered myself to be technologically challenged and have joked about that. But as I was reading this and I thought about it, I was like, well, at this point, 100% of my income is generated via telehealth.
Mm-hmm.
All of my therapy requires me to understand that program, which does more than just present my client on a screen. I'm heading back into the office later this month, but right now I'm still doing the telehealth. But it handles the assessments, intake packets, all of the billing, it scheduling. It does it everything. The chart is electronic. Now, I'm old school, so I also have my paper chart. Now, I still got my
'Cause you print it
manila
out?
folder.
You print it out?
I'll be printing stuff off and putting it in there, okay? But I got to admit, I like being able to, because I can run the whole thing from my phone also. And I like being able to pull out my stuff and chart my session electronically, quickly, just like that.
Do it again.
And so
Show how quickly you can do it.
quickly, just like that. And so I was thinking about it and just billing insurance companies and everything, and I'm like, they're right. We live in a technological world. Everything, even the stuff that we do for the radio show, as far as, you know, the YouTube clips that I post on the internet and all of that kind of stuff, like, you cannot be just totally incompetent. So, the goal is to really have both. Okay, I do think that it is good for people, if you are dating, you don't want someone who's cold and distant and emotionally unavailable, which we covered on the show last week or the week before, but they make good money, because those people don't tend to make good parents. Okay, and then you're going to be responsible for providing the kids with all their emotional needs, and that can be draining. So you don't want somebody who's just, you know, competent, but they're emotionally unavailable. And you don't want somebody who's all warm and fuzzy and all of that, which I do think is more important than being competent. But you need this person to be competent. Like, if you're raising kids
That's
in
why
a
I passed
technological
on both.
world,
That's why I passed on both.
right, you need a balance. Please, people, don't settle. It's so, I know listeners are like, that's easier said than done, because it's such slim pickings. I'm not saying that who you date has to be 50-50. I'm saying that they need to have a little bit of ability when it comes to being able to have a job, have a profession, manage money. They need to have a little bit of that. Between the two, the emotional aspect is most important. I'm saying that if you meet someone who's warm and engaging and endearing and emotionally available, he needs at least 20% of him better know how to be capable at something.
And go to work. Bring home some bacon.
And that's setting the bar real low at 20%. That ain't a lot of bacon. That's the fat off the bacon.
You better be able to pay the
bring it
house
home.
note. If you want to be the king, you got to pay for the castle.
20% is not somebody who's gonna have enough money to pay that house note. Okay, D.
Well,
He's gonna be able to buy some groceries. He's gonna be able to maybe pay the light bill.
You're not gonna switch the roles.
Well, according
because
to
guess how I'm gonna talk to him, like he's a witch with a bee.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm gonna be very disrespectful, and that's what happens in a lot of marriages. It's not about you making a whole lot of money, but you
gotta make enough.
You gotta make enough.
Well, according to your daughter and your granddaughter, ain't nobody coming up in there no way. So
basically, and I'm going to New York when I get 70, 80.
Right.
So I have like 20 years to kick it, you guys.
That's it. So, fellas, if you're listening, your time is running out.
You're running out.
And you got to go through the D's daughter and granddaughter to get to the D. Okay.
They
question
said
of
not
the day.
on their watch.
Yeah, right. Okay, question of the day. Fortunately, this is going to be a quick question.
But remember, we started a little late.
Okay. And so, my ex says horrible things about me to our children, most of which are untrue, and the others are inappropriate to share with a kid. So sometimes what is said is true, but it's inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
How do I defend myself without also discussing inappropriate topics with my kid? And this comes up in therapy all the time. Now, Dee, did you ever experience this?
Hell yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes.
How did you handle this?
Well, I was ignorant and young.
So you went off.
I didn't handle it the right way at all. I was 25.
You acted a fool.
Yeah, I straight did. But the thing about it was with my baby girl, the one that lives in the house now. It was her and our father, her father and I, because that was my first marriage. And it was just a very bad breakup. And that's when she learned how to play the sides. And that's exactly what happened. If I was to go back, 25 years, I would have most definitely done it a different way. Right. One thing about it is that I never did talk foul about my husband, my ex-husband, her father. Okay. I never said anything bad about that.
He was talking mess.
Oh, yeah, he was talking real bad about me. Very reckless, reckless. And I would have handled it a little bit better with her. I just ignored it. Okay. And but I wouldn't ignore it with him and his new wife. Like the ex-wife used to say things about me, and then the ex-wife, which he's still married to her and my daughter has basically no relationship because my kids are most definitely Team Stacy. So now my daddy gonna probably talk, but that's my daddy. But she literally, and I got on my daughter about that. She was combing my daughter's hair, and she was like 8 years old. And she was like, I don't even know how your mama wipe her butt, and your mama and da-da-da-da-da-da. Just like really talking about my daughter. And my daughter just got up and started hitting her. You're not going to talk about my mama.
Oh, wow.
And I went and got my daughter. Wow. And I shot at them. Yeah, because she tried to whoop my daughter because it got real bad. Everybody reminds you I was only 25, 27 years old, and I was like,
this is real bad.
Yeah, it got real bad because she tried to whoop my child. And what you're not going to do, because you should have been an adult and not have those type of conversations.
Right.
But you chose to do that. So basically, you took yourself from up here to down here, and that's why my daughter got her, because guess what? That's just how my children were. Even in the neighborhood, you're not going to talk about my mama because it's going to be a fight.
Right.
So, and even as me as an adult, I never played the dozens. So those are just learned behaviors from their mother. And then her trying to whoop my daughter, it was just a bad situation altogether. But as me being older and a more mature person, sometimes I just really would have took set my daughter down and just really being like, some people are angry at times and they say things that they really don't mean and say things that's really not true.
Right.
So don't even be bothered with the things that he says and just love on your daddy.
Mm.
And that's how.
Which is hard to do, though.
Yeah.
That's
me now at 54. But at 24, it was on and cracking with the Ruger. Pop, 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 pop.
Okay, so D.
It was all bad.
Now we about to get into a censorship situation. Here comes the censors. Here's what was working in your favor, though, is that your daughter was aligned with you.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm seeing a lot of times in therapy is kids coming home from a visit with the other parent, and they are aligned with that parent, and that parent has said horrible things about this parent, and they come home and act a fool with their parent.
I would open up the door and tell them to go on and go back.
Go
Bye.
back. Right. And
I'm not dealing with it.
And that's what, that's not what happens. These parents end up, the kid comes home and launches a full attack. My daddy said you did this, or my mama said you did this, and you did this. I'm talking really personal things like said you cheated on them and did this and did.
Okay, guess what I did? I kept like, yeah, and I did, and that's not even your business for us to have this discussion about.
And so that's now the D. You're getting to it. The first suggestion, feedback that we're giving, is do not allow yourself to get sucked into this, because what the other parent is doing is using that child as a weapon against you. Mm-hmm. They are arming that child with all this ammunition for them to come home and fire it at you. And you have to be careful that you don't get sucked into it.
And that's at all that disrespect. See, I didn't have that in my house because I beat them down.
Right. And I'm talking about kids who are coming home and being blatantly disrespectful.
Not doing that. Because like I said, I will open the door and hold on a minute. Let me call them. Can you turn back around and come back and get them?
Right.
And they'll be on the front step with their bag.
Come back and get them.
Come back and get them.
Here's where it gets difficult. And I see this a lot, where the kid comes home and they're saying, my daddy or my mama told me da-da-da-da-da-da. And it is true. But it's so inappropriate to discuss with a kid. But here's where the problem comes in. If they don't address it, it becomes a cancer in the relationship between the kid and the parent. Because let me give you an example of a common one.
Let's hear this example.
They will come back and say, my daddy said that you didn't even want me and you was gonna have an abortion. You wasn't even gonna have me.
That happened to me.
That too?
Me and Lynn Shay.
Lord mercy, D.
I'm getting in trouble again. I'm gonna get in trouble again.
I can't believe this happened to you too.
Yeah, he told her.
Okay. And so the parent is like, one, I actually was contemplating an abortion. How do I explain this to a kid? My kid is 10. They're not old enough or mature enough to even handle this information because, as we've talked about many times before, their brain isn't even developed enough to handle that. And so the parent is like, I cannot get sucked into it, but my kid is going to continue to distance themselves from me because they now know this information, or I can respond to it and say, listen, I was going through some depression, or I was going through this, I was going through that, and here is how I ended up making a conscious decision to bring you into the world.
And that's what
because
I did.
That is more important than when I was contemplating an abortion. And so in those instances, what I say to those parents is, when you have cancer growing in the relationship with your kid, you are kind of forced to go ahead and address it.
You have
You
to.
just need to one, don't weed out as much, don't give excessive details because it's a kid, but you need to address it enough to destroy that cancer before it spreads through your relationship with your kid.
My daughter she was 6 years old. She have
Ooh.
never brought that back up to me again.
Wow.
She has never
Now,
brought
how
that
did
back
you
up
respond
to me.
to that?
This is JP speaking Unspeakable, right?
Oh, here comes the unspeakable. Well, you done already got us in some sistership trouble. Go ahead, D.
Basically, she did come up to me and said, my daddy said you didn't even want me, that you was about to go to the abortion clinic.
Oh, my God.
I was like, hell, I was there.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, the D.
I said, what? I
You've
was
been
there.
speaking unspeakable for ages.
Yeah, I mean, she was sick. She gonna bring it to me. I'm gonna give
Right.
it back to you.
Right.
I said, baby girl, I was there. And your daddy came in hooping and hollering and crying on the floor talking about he wanted the baby. If I knew now, I would have went on with it. Because that was only something for him to try to trap me and keep me with him.
Mm.
Oh, she's 6 years old. And then I told her, and guess what? I went on and I kept you. But guess what? I was pregnant 3 other times before you. And they gone. So aren't you glad that you made it? And I love the hell out of you.
Wow. That's intense.
And she never have ever, and she's 34 years old, she has never brought that back up to me again. I kept it real. I gave her enough of it, and I told her my reasoning behind I wanted, because your father was abusive. He was jumping on me. And I was pregnant. And
those
it really
are the
made her look
extenuating
different.
circumstances.
And it really made her look at, you were pregnant with me and he was jumping on you? Yeah. And I didn't want to continue this. And that wouldn't have been nothing but another hold on me that he could have. And I was finna leave him.
Right.
And then he got into my emotional side. And that's what happened. And I had you. But mind you, 3 other ones didn't make it.
Here's what I like that you made clear to her, is that it wasn't about her and not wanting her. Because when a kid is told that by one of their parents, they immediately feel like, my mother did not love me. She did not want me. It's about me. Because kids are naturally egocentric. And so anything that a kid knows about, they think it's their fault. Parents get divorced, it's their fault. Parents having fights, it's their fault. That's just natural for kids to blame themselves for everything. And so what you made clear to her, because he was trying to make her feel like it was about her, because he didn't give the information on what he was doing that led you to the abortion clinic.
Exactly. But she
which
knew
means he
was
intentionally wanted her to feel like you were rejecting her.
Exactly. And I flipped it on him, though.
You flipped it.
I flipped it.
And you gave her the information that let her know it was never me not wanting you or me not loving you. It was a bad situation. He was not someone that a person should have been having a child with. Exactly. And that's what led you to that decision. Thank God you changed your mind about it, because she's here regardless of what he did. She's here. She's a blessing. But here is the thing that parents who do that do not realize, is that when they do that to attack the other parent, I'm going to destroy y'all's relationship.
You're messing up
the child. You are doing more damage to the child than you are
who you love
to your
so
ex.
much. You love so much.
Exactly. You love your child so much.
So you say
that you think you're just arming your child with ammunition to go fire at the parent, and you're going to get satisfaction in that. But what you have to realize is that you are really doing a lot of damage to your child's psyche, because now this child is feeling unwanted. And that could have so many other things down the road. Right. So many things down the road. You can't want to fire bullets at someone so bad that you're using your child as collateral damage. You're willing to do damage to your child because you hate your ex so much. I'm going to get them. I'm going to tell the kid this and da-da-da-da. You jacking up your kid. And this is not something that only men do. This
Women
is
do
something
it
that
too.
men and women do.
They do.
Because I have male clients coming in and saying, my ex-wife told our daughter this, told our daughter that, or, or even telling lopsided stories. Well, she cheated on me, da-da-da-da-da.
He said that too.
Or he cheated on me. It's like, and then the parent is like, okay, it's inappropriate for me to tell my kid that, one, I didn't cheat. Two, this is a person who cheated on me throughout our whole marriage. And so that's when it becomes difficult. Like, okay, I have a right to defend myself, but it's hard for me to defend myself because this is a child.
Still a child.
How do I tell this 10-year-old, really, your parent who told you that is the one that cheated through our whole marriage? And sometimes the parent is like, well, actually, I did cheat after a while because, the marriage was dead. And we separated, or we were about to separate, and so this person cheats through the whole marriage. I retaliate by having an affair, and now they're telling our kid about what I did without telling what they did. And so to parents who are like, okay, I'm not supposed to discuss these adult details with my kid, but my ex is basically presenting that I've been whoring around and they're the one that was whoring around.
Their favorite word.
Right. And so it is difficult. What you can do in that situation is you explain to your kid, listen, your parent clearly does not have the best relationship with the truth at this point.
Ooh, that's real good. The best relationship with the truth.
Clearly a distant relationship with the truth. And you're too young for me to tell you the truth. What I will tell you is that your parent has a distant relationship with the truth. And when you're old enough and mature enough, because this is my business, if I feel like telling
we can come
you,
back and
I'm going to tell you, I can tell you this, you're going to end up shocked and you're going to end up surprised.
I'll tell my daughter what I told her. Like, hell yeah, I'm a whore. And I enjoyed it. And if your daddy had been a better husband to me and a better father, it wouldn't have never happened. But he was doing it the whole time. And I accidentally fell on some stuff.
Oh my goodness. D.
I did. I was like, yeah, I was a whore.
Oh my goodness. This is so, I can't believe you.
And she was 6 years old.
This was a good topic for today, D, because like you have a full whole story around this topic.
Yeah. Oh, Lindsay Head was a terrible man.
Oh my goodness.
But he loved me. And it's really funny to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he loved me. And JP going to say something about this. He literally, when I think back and look at things, he loved me more than any man I have ever had. He just had a problem with showing it in a correct way.
Okay.
Yeah. But he most definitely, I truly believe that he loved me more than any man I had. I know
not everybody has the same definition of love. Many people have many different definitions.
True.
To me, being able to show it and express it is a part of a person's definition of love.
Exactly.
You can't treat me like crap and me be convinced that you love me.
And that's the reason why I
left.
That's the reason why I left, because I didn't like the way.
It was his version of love.
It was his version of love,
which was not
my
good enough
version.
For you.
It wasn't
you
good enough for me,
more,
and I deserved better. And that's like, bye, babe.
And that is something else that I want people to realize, because I hear that a lot in therapy. Well, she loves me. He loves me. And I explain to clients, yeah, but what's that person's definition of love? Because what some people define as love is about how much I love my favorite pair of shoes, and you a human being. You deserve more than that. So when somebody, and this is something for parents to teach your kids, because sometimes kids, as soon as they hear I love you, oh, it's time to drop drawers and panties and give up the goodies. And you have to teach your kids, hold on a minute. Their definition of love and your definition of love might be two totally different things. What they call in love, you might really consider to just be kind of liking somebody a little bit. Okay.
Exactly.
So you can't, when you hear I love you, you cannot automatically assign your definition to that person's words. You need to be sure that when they say they love you, that it is on the same level and matches your definition. Because there are people who love somebody and they kill them.
Dead.
How many couples,
and buried them in the backyard.
Somebody ends up dead and buried somewhere. Okay. But all through the trial, they still saying they love the person. Really, because they dead and you buried them in the backyard by the tulips.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of that is their trauma. Because my first husband, that's what he was raised, which we just discussed.
We talked
he
about
was
that.
raised in a house
that love looked like that.
Love looked like, and they were fighting all the time.
What was unhealthy and dysfunctional. But
Healthy
it was categorized as love.
Yes.
And that person grows up.
Yes.
And they believe that that's what love looks like.
Yes.
And then they enter into a relationship with somebody and they're dishing out their unhealthy, distorted definition of love, an unhealthy depiction of it, and wondering why the other person is saying,
looking at you like you crazy. Huh?
You abusing me, but
what
this
are you
is
talking
love.
About?
But in the world they grew up in, that is love.
That is love. Prime, I'm gonna say another little story. His mom was blind, and we grew up as cousins. Mm-hmm. His mom was blind, and she said that she drove past
not biological
my mother.
Cousins, for those of you who do not know this story. Okay.
But she told my husband at the time, I just drove by Stacy's mama's house, Lynn, and I seen her in some man's yellow Cadillac. But she blind. And he immediately, I'm at home. Hey, baby, what you doing? Bloop. Then we fighting. And then
after his blind mother told him that she saw you with another man
at my mother's house, I was in a yellow. She even did a color, a yellow Cadillac. Number one, my mother didn't play those games.
Wow,
she didn't play those games. So I went to go somewhere else to see my friend. If
right,
that's what
you
I
wasn't doing
do.
that at home.
But I wasn't even exactly
right.
And I'm come home. I was in the kitchen doing something, and he just immediately came in fighting.
Wow.
And that's the day that I said I needed to leave.
Yeah.
That was the day that I said I needed to leave.
Yeah. All right. Well, D, I think we covered this more thoroughly than what I was even anticipating, because I didn't know you was going to have all these stories related to this topic. This is why you said you was ready for this last week. This is why you was ready for this last. Yeah, this was transparent. I hope the kids wasn't listening today.
Hey, this is me.
They're going to be like, we just told this
we
woman
told her
that she's too transparent, and she's more transparent than ever today. But people will benefit and people can be helped from us addressing this topic, because it does happen a lot. And the gist of what we're saying is, yes, sometimes you do have to have these conversations with your kids because your ex has put it on the table and you can't ignore it that it's on the table. But be careful in how you do it. Don't be giving all the gory details. Give
just enough
information to prevent a cancer from spreading through the relationship, because what your ex has done is planted a cancer cell in your relationship with your kid, and you do have to remove it. That's our show for today. Thank you all for joining us, and remember, worry about nothing
and pray about everything, because it will come. Not when you want it to, but I promise you it will come.
Thank you, and God bless.
Bye-bye now.